Now finally, a scenic flight to get up close and personal with Mount Everest is on the itinerary of many tourists who visit Nepal. Now, a grandson of one of the two explorers who made the first flight over the world's tallest mountain is taking the same route 80 years later. Sabina Stresta has more.
A flight in the Himalayas, even sitting in this modern airplane, can sometimes feel rather precarious. But 80 years ago, two Scotsmen, Douglas Hamilton and George McIntyre, took two biplanes, small aircraft with wooden propellers and open cockpits, and flew over the highest point on Earth, Mount Everest. Their mission was to scientifically map the mountain. Besides, they also wanted proof on whether George Mallory and Andrew Irwin had reached the summit of Mount Everest. The two mountaineers had headed towards Everest in 1924 but never returned. To mark the anniversary of that flight, Charles Douglas Hamilton, the grandson of Douglas Hamilton, is taking a flight over Everest.
It's incredible to think that a plane like that could fly over Everest, through the plume, be rattled by ice particles, and that a plane like that could actually be used to complete this feat. Well, after this flight, I think there was a general consensus that a lot of progress needed to be made, and that aviation had to transform from being at an infant stage.
Douglas Hamilton and McIntyre did not find the mountaineers, but they helped change aviation forever.
This flight is going to be significantly different from the ones taken by Hamilton and McIntyre 80 years ago. For one, this plane is pressurized and it's got both oxygen and heating, all of which did not exist in the flight 80 years ago. Now, the only thing in common is that we're taking the same flight path, and this plane, a Jetstream, is manufactured by the company set up by the pioneers.
In 1933, Nepal was closed to the world and the plane had to be flown from the northern state of Bihar in India. When the plane reached the Everest region, a downdraft on the east of the mountain nearly sucked Hamilton's plane. One of the oxygen masks malfunctioned and Hamilton nearly blacked out. And after the flight, they realized that the cameras malfunctioned, so they went back a month later and mapped the area. The photographs taken by the two men from the Nepal side of the mountain guided Tenzing Sherpa and Edmund Hillary up Everest 20 years later. These magnificent views can be seen every day now if you take one of the mountain flights offered by the many airlines here. But it was that original flight 80 years ago that made these scenic flights possible.